Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Daniel Hood Roofing. Make sure I say that right this week. Free roof inspections, roof repair, roof replacement, all with hundreds and hundreds of five-star reviews online, testimonials like you wouldn't believe at their website. That is what Daniel Hood Roofing has. Proven success, proven quality. If you're worried about your roof making it through the winter, now is the time to have somebody come out and give you a free inspection. Daniel Hood Roofing will do that. DanielHoodRoofing.com. Give them a call today. They'll be listening and waiting to take your call. All right. First of all, let's go ahead and put the poll graphic up if we could. There we go. You guys can use the QR code. You can go to sportsource.tv/poll to take part. And it's still staying about the same. Actually, it's gone a little bit even more to South Carolina. So I'm a little surprised by that. I thought the recency issue would push it toward Missouri. I thought people would look at the Missouri game and say that was more of a total beatdown. You only scored 7 points. But I think people are still looking at it and going, no, the stakes of last year were worse. All right. I'm going to throw out my answers at the end of this segment. But I want to ask you guys, starting with Sterling, what is your biggest worry regarding Tennessee under Heupel moving forward? There are two things, all right? One, road concerns. There are tons of people going on social media, check my inbox, tons of people saying this guy can't win on the road. Is that your biggest issue? Or are you more concerned with the fact that when this team falls behind, a stat that I've pointed out, when they go down 11 plus, they do not come back? Which is the bigger current concern for you moving forward, Sterling Hinton?
For me, it's not on the road. We got some quality wins on the road. We've got last year Missouri, 2 years ago Missouri. We got this year Kentucky, 2 years ago Kentucky. So, that's not my concern. My concern is being behind because, I want to see that oomph. Now, we had a quality come from behind win last year against Alabama at home. So that's
but not down 11 and a half. They don't go down big.
It went down well. It just made me nervous when that Scoop and score.
The biggest deficit they've come back from was Pitt last year, which was a 10-point deficit. Okay.
Yeah. Well, anytime we have too many non-come from behind wins, that as a player that concerns me because I want to see that monster come out of the player that say that we still own this game and we own our name. You can't take what's mine away from me. Okay, you got the best of me this moment or this quarter, but I'm coming back and I'm coming to get you. And now when I saw that against Alabama last year, it coated me. I tell you, it did. So I want to see more of that stuff.
What do you consider
I'm with Sterling, and I'll also add the win at LSU. Yes. It was pretty impressive. So the thing that gets me about when Tennessee gets behind by more than 10 points, they have an offense built for coming back, right? They should be able to. You would think, because they can score in less than 2 minutes, and they do oftentimes. But when they get behind for whatever reason, I don't know if it's they lack adjustments or what it is. That concerns me more because, and you've pointed it out, they haven't come back from more than an 11-point deficit to win any games. But they do have some road wins that are either really good or respectable. So I don't know what the issue is, but maybe it's the other team's got their number and they stop them early and they can't figure out how to get going. But that bothers me more than the road losses.
I think part of it, whether that's the biggest issue or not, I think part of it is the fact that you are so tied to the run game that if you have to get away from the run, it undercuts you. You haven't seen anybody be able to do it. They haven't done it against anybody. When the run goes away, they cannot simply win with the pass. They have to run for X amount of yards to keep that offense going. Bob, what are you more concerned with?
I'm going to go with the comeback thing, too. It worries me that Josh Heupel does this, and he does it incredibly well, but when it gets messed up, he just doesn't have anything else to fall back on, and maybe that's the reason you can't come back. So I'm going to go with the come from behind.
What are you doing, Kevin?
Yeah, and really just kind of piggyback on what everybody said. Like I look at the LSU loss or win on the road, like
Will Overstreet.
Yeah. Now, so basically, the thing I look at is halftime adjustments more than anything. I know that doesn't answer this question, but
we'll show that too. That's part of it.
But to me, that's the one thing that I feel like other staffs have gotten the better of us on, going back to even 2021. You think about that. The last time we played Georgia at home, we had it rolling pretty good, and then at halftime, I think what was like 17 or 14, and then the box just kind of fell at the bottom. So if you look at Alabama this year, it's 27-0 in the second. It seems like other staffs, the answers they come up with to put their players in position, it seems like they've done a better job of that than what we've been able to. Since Heupel's been here.
Yeah. Now I will say this: you go 11-2 last year. I still think he's a miracle worker.
Yeah.
That 11-2 was pretty darn good last year. It does seem though, and we'll see. I mean, it's year 3. He's not even finished yet. We're going to continue to learn about this guy, but it does seem that they have a one-trick thing. It's a very good trick.
Yeah.
But if the one trick isn't working, it's hard for them to win another way. It would be interesting to see, and I didn't do it. Again, this gets back to I'm always saying we look at our own team. You do. It would be interesting to see what other coaches' records are when their teams are down 11 or more. That would, we might find that not everybody. I bet a lot of guys aren't tearing it up, but they're probably not as bad as what you're going to see here. I'm a little surprised that no one here went with the road thing. I think that's interesting because if you're on social media, if you saw my inbox today, everybody's talking about they can't win on the road, and I think that's a little bit of, ooh, look at this, look at this, look at this. But the real issue is what you guys went to. Darn it. Let me go ahead and show you my numbers. I think the down and out is the issue, and here you go. Trailing by 11 or more, they are 0-10 since Josh Heupel took over. 5 of those came in that first year when you're 7-6, and he inherited a dumpster fire and did a great job even getting to a bowl. So let's keep that in mind. Only 5 the last 2 years, but 0-10 overall when you get down 11 plus. And I just think when you can't run the ball, it puts the kibosh on your offense. And then also, as Kevin pointed out, it's kind of the same thing. There's only one game different you throw in there. They were 0-10 trailing at halftime, except for the Texas A&M game this year that they came back and won, and they were only down, I think, 3 points at the half there. So 0-10 when trailing by 11 or more, 1-10 when trailing at halftime. To me, this is the bigger thing to keep an eye on moving forward. If you can sit there and say, oh, boy, we're down 11, we're beat, as I said to you yesterday, that's not a good place to be. No. So we'll see if they can fix that at some point. I'm not so much concerned about this next one. Not so bad, really. These guys pointed out they're 6-7 on the road in true road games. That doesn't count the neutral site bowl game stuff. 6-7 in true road games. Your teams that you've beaten in the road wins are 46-29. All right, you beat a 10-3 Kentucky team at home. You beat a 9-4 Pitt team at home. You beat a 10-4 LSU team at home. That's nothing. Kentucky's going to wind up going to a bowl this year. You beat them at home. Okay, true road losses. Those are some good teams. I mean, a combined 64-22. Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina won 8 games. Alabama, Missouri this year. Everybody on that list won 8 or more games except for Florida. And I kind of give you a pass on those because name me a Tennessee coach who's had any success going to Florida. Yeah. And that's not I'm not saying that after the fact. We said it before the fact. Every year you go to Florida, I'm not picking you to win. So I think, as these guys said, now the numbers back it up, dadgummit, I hate it when I can't get you. I think it's the road it's the deficit more than the road games that scare me. And the question is it fair? Should I be looking at what was, well, not Jimbo Fisher since he's being fired, but what is Lane Kiffin's record? I mean, people are like, why can't we have Lane Kiffin? I think Lane Kiffin and Josh Heupel are pretty much the same guy. I don't see much difference between those two, personally, in terms of record and what they do. But maybe I should go and look at Kiffin's record when they're down 11 plus. But that's one to watch. Any final comments on this segment?
No. It's the thing that's interesting to me is that Tennessee last year, didn't they average like 325 passing yards per game, something like that? They were a good enough passing team to overcome. Now they only lost 2 games. Okay, I get that. But they should be a good enough passing team to overcome these deficits and an offensive team. And that's just surprised me they haven't been able to do that.
Well, I mean, Josh Heupel is the first one that says people think we're a deep ball offense. It's run game, run game, run game. It's surprising, but their results are kind of like the old Oklahoma and Nebraska of the 70s.
Yeah, but you know what? So when
results.
When Coach Heupel says that, though, that we are a run offense, we are in the. So last season when we saw this offense operating at its best clip, we were a run offense in the second half, salting games away. But they were throwing the ball early in those games. You know what I'm saying? If you think about it and look at that.
You can throw it. I just think when the run game goes away, The offense goes away.
Yeah, no doubt. But we were a pass first offense last season, and I don't have the numbers right here in front of me to support it. But if you go back and look at it, in the first half of those games, we were throwing the football, and then it's really in the second half of those games, weren't scoring as many points, but using the run game to basically salt it away.
Very good. All right. When we come back, a blowout loss, an unbeaten champ coming to town next. What is a UT player's mindset? We'll ask some of our VFLs. What would they be thinking with Georgia up next? How are you approaching this game after that Missouri butt whipping? Come on back on the Sports Source.